It's 7 o'clock on the dot, and I'm right here in the spot with you once again live, right here on Break On Through, with me, your host, the unimpeachable president for life, the long-haired widow, Jeffrey K. Clayton. Man, I'm going to tell you something. I've missed y'all. Let me fix my hairdo here. It looks like I've got a bad wig on. But I've missed y'all. And but the problems and the areas that we discussed before were still there. So let's see how things go, man. And y'all keep sending me ideas of stuff you want to talk about. There's Steve Wensil Live. There's Amy Lynn Myers. There's Erica. There's, oh, who else we got in here? Herbert Jerome, man. I thought you were at the Pantera show, Hoss. There's Brian Hugo from way around California town. Brian's already got his time machine. Man, welcome back to Break On Through. Man, it's great to be back. I got a lot to talk about. Man, I got a lot of advertisements now. Here, that's the thing now. I got a lot of stuff to tell you that's going on that I need to tell you about. But I also got some stuff to discuss. Like, I called Clinton Zilla before going on because I needed to ask him to do something for him. But I don't see him in here. Hope everything's okay around Zilla Town. All right, but well, hey, the first thing let's talk about a little time machine. How about that? Oh, goodness gracious, man! What a beautiful, beautiful package. Look at all that good stuff, man. And look, I encourage you that when you get your copies, take you some pictures with them. Take you some pictures holding the vinyl, all that stuff, because I want you to post them. Oh yeah, and don't forget my service, my public service announcement where I said I want you to go back and listen to side 2, track 1, Flower Punk, a Frank Zappa cover. I want you to go back and listen to that 2 more times, except pan your balance all the way left, and then play it again and pan it all the way right. Man, you are going to get a charge like you ain't never even ever seen. Take my word for it. All right. Man, I had a nice sheet all printed out nice, where I could read everything real nice and clear, and of course left it at the warehouse, so I had to write everything by hand again. And now it is the chicken scratch that you can only imagine. John Ross got a sheet of my notes recently, and he can tell you for a fact what a display of chicken scratch it all is. But man, we got stuff coming up. This coming Saturday, July 19th, the Clayton and Wensil band will be playing at the Clearwater Artist Studios in Concord, North Carolina. That's Steve Wensil and I's gospel band, which also includes Malcolm Tent and Jeff Williams. And that's the core band. And then we have our wonderful background singers. Christy, Brooke, and Susan. And we can only get them at certain times, but this coming Saturday, Susan will be the featured female vocalist. And man, I'm telling you, when I tell you these ladies can sing like angels, I ain't lying. But any of y'all in the area, and I know some of y'all say you're coming down for this show, man. It'll be a pleasure to see you. I hope you will enjoy yourself. I'm sure you will enjoy yourself. I'll say, I want to make a very important announcement. I'm going to do these all in order, not in subject matter. August 2nd. That's the weekend after. No. It's a couple weeks away still. But August 2nd, the Fat Cat in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Before I Hang will be featuring Before I Hang will be putting on a benefit show for their former vocalist Dave Stennett. And this is a benefit show. So man, if anybody down in that area, if you can make it out, please do. If there's just no way you're gonna make it down there to the area, man, then please stop by the GoFundMe and make a little donation. It will be going to a great cause, and that cause is to keep Dave as comfortable in what time he has left. And I think everybody will feel good about contributing to that. August 9th, I was talking about Time Machine. We're going to have a Time Machine release party live at Repo Record right here in Charlotte, North Carolina at 4 p.m. We're going to play the record for about 20 minutes or so before we get started. Then we're going to come on and play a greatest hit set, and then we will be available to sign the record or anything else you bring or buy at Repo. It's going to be a very fun afternoon, I believe. So if you can make that, I need you to. Let's see here. This past Saturday, July 5th. Is that right? No, this Saturday wasn't. This past Saturday wasn't it? What was the date of this past Saturday? Someone's going to tell me something. I'm waiting for the oh, there's Claytonzilla right there. Claytonzilla, I'm going to need to talk to you before the top 10 list. I guess I have to do it right here in front of everybody. 12th. Walt Wheat just told me that it was July 12th. Malcolm Tent and Chrissy Walker were right here in the Break On Through studios. Malcolm came by, not able to wait another day to get his hands on some Time Machine. And we realized something that we did not acknowledge at that moment. But that very day, 41 years prior, was the day that Malcolm Tent and I first met. And we met at the Beat Club in Columbia, South Carolina. And how fitting, because that is the birthplace of Malcolm Tent. And, man, and I truly say, I remember that day and that evening very well. And you know how when you meet some people, you know they're going to be part of your life for quite some time. Well, I think I knew that pretty soon after meeting Malcolm Tent. I did not know he would one day be a member of the band, especially not this far into the career of the band. But thank God he is. He's here now. He's here to stay. And, man, it's just one of those fellas that's, when you meet them, they're in for the long haul. And it has been a long haul. I'm here to tell you. Y'all notice my posters I got for sale up on the page all over the place, man? Hit me up. Hit me up. Posters for sale. Let's see what else here. Man. You know what everyone's talking about, other than political stuff, what everyone's talking about on the social media and all. And, excuse me, still working class for good reason. The Black Sabbath Ozzy farewell weekend, that was July 5th. Now, you know something? They said it was Ozzy's last show, but it may not be Black Sabbath's. Black Sabbath has continued on with other singers. Will they do that? I don't know. A lot of great highlights, a lot of good stuff to talk about. But the one thing I think everybody needs to be talking about is that performance by Steven Tyler. What about that? Man, they had him laying on the mat with a 3 count going down, man, but somewhere along the line, he got his foot up on the rope, and they said he ain't out yet. He ain't out yet, man, and he proved it. Man, he was quite the force to be reckoned with. And I am really proud of old Stephen T. Man, I was talking to the first lady and I, you know, we saw the clips and the highlights, and we both had the same opinion about Steven Tyler at this thing. But I need to ask y'all something. You know, I've only seen Aerosmith one time. And the time I saw him, it was the time where they had no Joe Perry, no Brad Whitford. It was the Rockin' a Hard Place tour. But, you know, I never went to see them. And I've loved that band ever since I discovered them. Probably sometime around 75 or 76, I guess. Why is that, you reckon? I can't think of a good reason. Are any of you like that with a group you've loved, like, forever? I never went to see them, not in their heyday, and I remember them coming in their heyday. But I don't know. I can't quite figure that one out. Brian Hugo says Hagar's Rock Candy was good. I mean, I haven't even seen that yet. I'm gonna see that soon. I saw when Ron Wood was playing lead on Train Kept a Rolling. That was really good. But yeah, old Stephen T. Well, I do got a top 10 tonight. Now, Claytonzilla, this is where I need to talk to you. You remember I sent you some pictures of 3 bands? Well, when I start this top 10, at some point, I will say now, which means I want you to edit a video from where I say now to when I say stop. And I want it to be a TikTok type video thing. You know what I'm talking about. And I want you to insert those pictures when the time is right. So I'm going to go ahead and start yakking right now. And in honor of the Black Sabbath Ozzy Farewell Weekend, I'm going to, well, first of all, the top 10. Someone, before we started going monthly, someone wanted to hear my top 10 favorite heavy metal bands. Now, I've compiled a list. And first I gotta do a little disclaimer. I do not consider AC/DC or Motorhead to be heavy metal. Now I know that's something we can probably all debate until the cows come home and then take off again. But I don't consider them heavy metal. I consider them just hard rock. And there might be even a couple, well, maybe one, of my choices here for my top 10 that you'll say, well, they're the same as Motorhead, and you may be right. I may be crazy. But it just might be a break on through lunatic that you're looking for. Here I am, baby. Signed, sealed, delivered. I am yours. All right. Top 10 heavy metal. I will start with the last three. But this is, I'm going to want Clayton to edit me a video. So, here we go. Clinton, start. This is my top 3 Black Sabbath influenced bands. And I don't mean, oh, we heard Black Sabbath, now, you know, I want to play heavy rock or heavy metal. No, these are the ones that took it to heart. They went with the look, the sound, the whole Black Sabbath vibe, and they did it well. And I'm going to tell you, my number 3 is a band called Count Raven. You need to give them a listen. And number 9 from right here in the good old US of A. They got that Black Sabbath vibe down. They were one of my favorite bands. They still are to this day. I'm talking about none other than Saint Vitus. And my number 1 Black Sabbath influenced band of all time, from Mario, England, right there where Black Sabbath's from, Witchfinder General. There you have it. Cut. All right, that was my number 10, 9, and 8, but I made them 3, 2, and 1 for a video that Clinton's going to make for me. All right, so number 7 in my top 10 favorite heavy metal bands, the original 3-man version of Venom. Now, you know, I know you're going to say, well, you don't listen to it much today there. Yeah, I don't, but, you know, I don't need that subject matter swirling around me. But, man, those first 3 albums, Welcome to Hell, Black Metal, and At War with Satan, man, you have a hard time topping some of that now. I think they started slipping when Possessed came along, but those 3 albums and a lot of the singles in between those are just metal classics. Number 6, and this is one you probably say, well, if you didn't think AC/DC and Motorhead were metal, you probably shouldn't think this band is metal, but they call themselves metal. But I think they're hard rock too. But I'm just talking about the one and only Girl School. I like every incarnation of the band. I even like the one where they signed to Mercury Records and they tried to doll them up and make them more commercially attractive to the American audiences, and that was a failed experiment. But man, I like that album, and they hate it. You know, they don't like it, but I always thought Jackie Bodymead was a great vocalist for them. And matter of fact, I've had full deep conversations about this with Adam Neal from Savage Master, whom, if I were doing our contemporaries, my favorite metal, Savage Master would definitely be in there along with Seducer. But we're talking about the ones that came before. But I always loved Jackie Bodymead as a vocalist. Number 5. And this band I love in just about every incarnation of that. I have not seen or heard any of the new one. I know you say, you can just go on YouTube. Yeah, I know. But I'm talking about the one and the only Tank. If y'all ever heard any Tank, man, listen to those first. There's a double album. And I imagine it's a CD too, called Armor Plated. It's got all the first couple things, all the singles. And if you can't find that one, then the Felt Hounds of Hades, their debut album, is simply amazing. And man, I'm going to just go ahead and lay out my number 3 and number 4 slot, because I don't know which one to go to. And I don't even know that they would be number 3 and 4. They might be number 7 and 8. I don't know. But man, the big ones. Maiden and Priest. Now I have my favorite periods for both of those bands. I'm with Iron Maiden, man. When I was hanging out, first moved to Charlotte, and a lot of my friends from Albemarle or from surrounding areas like Mooresville, which was Dana Ace Davis, rest his soul, and Thomas O'Keefe, who became a very prominent member of Antiseen, along with Billy Patrick Smith, my friend since we were children, young children. Man, they started coming and hanging out at my apartment. I was going to Central Piedmont Community College to learn commercial art, but then the band bug bit. And I dropped all that, and I also got all my funding dropped from the parental units. They say you gonna go out there and boogie and rock and roll? Not on our dime, son. So one night, I believe I told you this before. One night I was laying down, and I hear my mama and papa talking. I heard them say low, low, whoa. So many row. That ain't exactly what they said, but it did say, you know what? You ain't going to college. You gonna play rock and roll? yeah. You're gonna be getting a job and paying for it too, Hoss. Which is exactly what I did. But my number 2. I love this band. I love them so much. I know a lot of you like them too, because we've had discussions. I love Saxon. Saxon is such a wonderful band. They're my number 2. And number 1. My number 1 favorite heavy metal band, and because they're on the tip of everyone's tongue right now, they're the topic of most conversations, Black Sabbath. And I know a lot of people will get mad at me because I like the Dio version of Sabbath the best. And they think when you say that you don't like the Ozzy version. That is not true. That's not true at all. Those Ozzy Black Sabbath albums are some of the greatest albums ever made in music. Period. That's my opinion. And I know it's my opinion. I don't think I'm some kind of lawgiver or some kind of lawmaker. But I'm just telling you. That's the way I feel about it. That's my top 10. Let me go through here and tell you what my favorite albums by these groups are. Count Raven, if you've never heard them, start with one called High on Infinity. That'll put you in the right spot. For St. Vitus, their debut, or Mournful Cries, which has two of my favorite songs by St. Vitus ever. Dragon Time and The Troll. Witchfinder General. There's not a whole lot to pick from Witchfinder General, but if you're like, man, I can only pick one thing, well, then you got to pick Death Penalty. That is like, to me, it's like a Nevermind the Bollocks quality record for that genre. Tank, I told you before, Armor Plated or Filth Hounds from Hades. Girl School, man, you can't go wrong with Hit and Run, Screaming Blue Murder. I think Screaming Blue Murder is one of my favorites by them. Judas Priest, my favorite Judas Priest album. Unleashed in the East / tie with British Steel. My all-time. Iron Maiden. I know people are real torn about this one, but man, I love Peace of Mind. I love every song on it. I saw them on that tour. Well, what the point I was making about those guys from Albemarle, New London, and Mooresville is like they would come to Charlotte and, you know, stay at my apartment, and I would just be, you know, they're all going to every concert, man. And at one time it was Judas Priest, I guess, on Defenders of the Faith. And they were just begging me to go, come on, man, go with us. I was like, man, I don't want to go see that. Man, I'm Mr. Punk Rock. You don't understand. So they said, well, man, what if we pay your way? And I said, this wasn't like it is now. We have to go take out a bank loan and to go to a show, you know, like what? Shoot. For $20, you could. Man, not even that much. I remember we used to get concert tickets for $10. And I remember when they went to $10, everybody was like, I ain't going to this ever again. But, you know, it wasn't like some big, gigantic investment to buy someone a ticket last minute. And that's what they did. And they bought me one of Judas Priest, and man, I had such a blast. They bought me one for Maiden on Peace of Mind. And after I saw that, I went and bought that album with all the songs they played from that record. And that's how I got into that stuff. Those guys got me into that. And, God, man, all the groups we saw, of course, we always went and saw Kiss. We always went and saw AC/DC. I don't consider Kiss heavy metal either. But we all, you know, we went and saw all those bands. Alice Cooper would come. We'd all go. But, like, they were with me when we saw Dio and Crocus and, you know, all these groups, you know. And we ended up having a great time, which I guess for a minute there, when I got into punk rock, I was Mr. Johnny Punk Rock. You know, like, if it ain't punk rock, it ain't worth a shit. You know, that was my whole thing. But I've changed on that. But even back then, I still kept some of my records that I loved. I think Joe Strummer described that whole switch into punk very good. He said it's very Stalinist. Well, you even like Quest for Fire? Man, you want me to tell you why I like Quest for Fire? Because Quest for Fire is one of my favorite movies. And yes, that song is silly. Even Bruce Dickinson had a hard time singing In a Day When Dinosaurs Walked the Earth, in a land where swamp and caves were home. Yeah, that's a rough one. But I can't really do my attempt at metal voices tonight because, as you can tell, I got a little bit of a summer cold now. That thing's got to clear up now because I got a little Clayton and Wensil going on Saturday. I'll be fine. It's just the enemy trying to sidetrack me a little bit. I ain't having it. It's not going to happen. I am going to be there loud and proud, singing the praises of the Lord Jesus Christ on Saturday evening. Funny, I throw that all in there right in the middle of the heavy metal discussion, but here we are. But my voice is kind of weak. Well, I didn't get much sleep last night either, but kind of goes without saying when you're as working class as I am, sleep is not usually on the agenda. Anybody got any questions real quick? Steve Wensil says we're all going to kill it because God is good. And that is right, brother. We're going into it believing that we're going to sow some seed. Well, I got a couple more things to talk about. Man, I'm really looking forward to September 19th and 20th at the Ground Zero in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Clinton just asked me some good questions here. I'm going to get to those in a minute. Let me write it down. Fave, Sab, and Snoozer songs. I would get to that right now, Clinton, but I already did a segue going in and talking about Rule Breakers Ball 2025. Man, the Friday night, how good is this? The reformed version of Mondo Braswell's Taped Fist. Now, Mondo Braswell is one of my favorite lead singers. I don't know if he knows that or not. But he is a front man that does what no front man can. From here to Japan and back again. So I'm really looking forward to seeing them. Future Hate, one of my favorite live bands of all time. Mobile, Alabama's favorite sons and daughter are going to be there live at Rule Breakers Ball. Kith, Knowledge is for Fools, coming in from Raleigh, North Carolina. You know, they always put on a fun show. Before I Hang. Walt Wheat's brainchild from 30 years ago. Still going. Still chugging along. They're going to be there, and they always put on a great show. They never disappoint. I've seen them with various lineups, man, and I'm telling you, there have been nights where I just watched them. There have been nights, I ain't gonna lie to you, there's nights I watched them, and I was thoroughly amused, and thought, well, yeah, that was good. But then there's some nights where I'm just like going, man, why do we even bother trying to go on? But those are the nights I like. And after that, the band has been around longer than Antiseen. They're now an institution. I'm talking about San Antonio, Philadelphia, Portland, Oregon, Hollywood, California, Rancid Vat. Walt corrected me, 34 years now for Before I Hang. Saturday night. You all, when you know anything about Antiseen, you already know when I mentioned the name Zach Hembree. Zach Hembree's new rockin' teenage combo, Blue Ridge Death Cult, is going to start the evening. And I'm telling you, they're going to start it off right. And they're going to set the pace for the rest of the night. Which coming up right behind them will be Wrath of Typhon. the heavy metal juggernaut from York, Pennsylvania. I can't wait to see these guys again. This is going to be such a good weekend, man. Self-Made Monsters. Everybody's favorite psychedelic, weirdo band is going to be playing right smack dab in the middle on night number 2. And right after them is the Josephus George Jonestown Massacre. Man, well, you know, they've shared the stage with Antiseen many a times, and they're doing it again. We even got some cross-pollination going on that night. I can't wait for you all to see it. And then, to close the night out, everyone's favorite one-trick pony. Everybody's favorite romper room doobie-doobie-doo. I'm talking about the one and only, the youngsters of rock and roll, Antiseen. And don't you worry, man. We're bringing it all. We're bringing it all, man. We're also going to have the Destructive Divas are going to be there, and our good friend, wrestling legend. And people like to throw that word around, but when you throw it around talking about this man, that's not a throw or a toss. That's a gently placed at his feet, because he is a legend in professional wrestling. I'm talking about the one and only George South. So, that's the way it is. And I'm going to tell you, that is going to be a night to remember. And man, if you look on the Antiseen page right now, you can see a post I made with links to tickets on both nights. Don't be fooled to buy ticket 1, you know, for the first night and go, oh, well, that takes care of me all the way. No, don't. You got to buy a ticket for night 1 and for night 2. I think I'm going to down me a little good old-fashioned black seed oil right now. What I imagine drinking motor oil would be very similar to. All right, let's address Clinton Zilla's question. Favorite Sab song? Now, see, here we go. Now we're talking about Sabbath Ozzy, Sabbath Dio, Sabbath Ian Gillan, or any of the ones after that. Well, you know what? I guess to keep it in the spirit of the Ozzy Sabbath, Ozzy solo farewell weekend a couple weeks ago, we'll stick with Ozzy Sabbath. Now, it's going to be really hard for me to pick one. So I am going to blitzkrieg 5 of my favorite Ozzy era Black Sabbath songs. Now, some of you are going to be like, man, you got to be kidding me. You know what? Not 5, 10. I'm going to do 10. And in no particular order, but these are, like, if someone said, man, you got to make your Ozzy Black Sabbath CD because you're going to be on a desert island for the rest of your life and this is all you get to listen to, you better pick 10 good ones. Here's my 10 I'd pick. St. Vitus Dance. Tomorrow's Dream. After Forever. Planet Caravan. Changes. I love that song. I love the kid that did it at the big show too, man. Great version. Charles Bradley did it good too. Now, y'all listen to Charles Bradley. Charles Bradley. You hear that name? Charles Bradley. Go listen to Charles Bradley doing Changes. Clinton, would you please post a link to Charles Bradley doing Changes in the body of the thing here so that at least for 30 days before Facebook makes this video self-destruct, people can hear it. And if they're listening to it on YouTube, they can hear it later. But all right, then my next 5 would be Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, a national acrobat. Let me think here. Solitude. I got 2 more here. Oh. The Wizard. One of my favorites. I got one last Sabbath Aussie era song. Let's think what I got going on. You think why I ain't picked none of the big hits? Because after I've heard the big hits for 40 years, when I started digging deep, that's when I got into the stuff I really, really love. It'd probably be another one from Volume 4 is my favorite album by that era. And right behind it, almost tie, would be Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Let's go ahead and make song number 10 be a Spiral Architect. There we go. Man, 2 top 10s in one broadcast. How about that? That's something. That is something right there, boy. But, no, yeah, I forgot about Electric Funeral. Let me see what else Brian Dunlap put on here. Yeah, yep, good ones. Yeah, I do like Electric Funeral. Well, the next Break On Through date will be Tuesday, August 5th. And with me that day, I will have Malcolm Tent live right here with me, right? Both of us right here. We plan on talking about the days of tape trading. But you know how it is, especially when me and Malcolm get talking, that could quickly shift gears and change into something else, like on a dime. So get ready for that. What's 8:15 mean? I said 8/5. Is that what I meant? Yeah, 5th. That'll be the Tuesday before we play Repo, the Big Instro. I know we'll start talking about that. We'll probably talk some more to you about Time Machine. Man, we had such a fun time making this record. I'll go ahead and tell you this right now. The Sonny and Cher cover that's on here, The Beat Goes On. We worked on that song longer than we have worked on any other song in Antiseen's entire career. We had to start taking outside opinions and criticisms about what we had going on, and it turns out that doing that without bucking the system was exactly just what the doctor ordered. And so now we have something that we are quite proud of, and I think that you are going to love it. Now here's a question. You don't have to answer me tonight. I'm going to ask it now, and I'm going to ask it here in probably a month or two. Do you think the Time Machine should become a yearly series? I mean, you got to tell me something. And Walt, man, I'm telling you, we probably all need to be on here one night discussing what we did to make this record, man. Walt just made a comment. You can see it, here on Facebook, but when it goes to YouTube, he just says that, let me go back and read it. Not to mention, we completely rewrote the arrangement we wanted to use for Sunset People on the spot. Moments before hitting record. And he is telling the truth 100%. We already had our arrangement we wanted for Sunset People, and then, man, Barry came in, and, you know, I'm not blowing any surprise. Everyone knows we did a Donna Summer cover, and we have Donna Summer on the cover. But we took the riff from Hot Stuff, another Donna Summer song, and incorporated it right there into Sunset People. And in my opinion, it came out brilliant. And the star of that one, in my opinion, is Barry for his arrangement. And that song goes down as one of my favorite Malcolm Tent bass lines ever. And of course, me and Walt, you know, our parts were completely perfect. So there's no need for me to really put any sunshine on that, because I think we all knew that was going to be the case. But man, we got the pink vinyl, we got the orange vinyl available. You can buy them. You can buy one or the other, or you can buy them both at a special price at the Antiseen Store.bigcartel.com. Clintonzilla, if you put that link in there. Now, you don't got to start giving us ideas for Time Machine. We know what we're going to do. We just wonder if the punters, you, the fans, would like to see this become a annual series, maybe even every other, a biannual series where we make, you know, continue doing volumes until we just don't do them. No. I mean, that will eliminate the need to have covers on the albums, I think. Because, you know, when we touch a cover, we turn it into an Antiseen song. You know that. And whatever comes down the pipe, it's not going to be any exception. Well, folks, I could sing the Carol Burnett goodbye song. I don't know if y'all want to hear it. But it's time for me to go. If I see a bunch of hearts, I'll do it. If I don't see nothing, I'll just skip it. But don't forget, August 5th, we'll be right here breaking on through again with my special guest, Malcolm Tent. Now, there's still going to be pop-up break on throughs and live videos in between these. And oh man, there are a bunch of hearts. I guarantee you every one of them hearts is from Clintonzilla. But hey, I said I need to see hearts, so here we go. I'm gonna tell you something. I really appreciate y'all coming, being here with me again. I know I may have to build the audience back up some, and Wesley Dixon reminds me, just seeing Wes on here reminds me that we still need to think of the folks up in Western North Carolina, along with folks down in Texas and other places that have been hit, man. If you got anything to spare, anything can help. Anything is better than no thing. If you can contribute anything, please help these folks, man. This is our countrymen. We don't have time to sit around and think about who voted for who believes what and all, man. When it comes to things like this, we need to pull together. And so, with that, I'm going to say I appreciate y'all coming, hanging out with me a little bit. You know I love you. You know I love all of you. You know God loves every one of you. And I hope that you have a great month I hope between now and August 5th, man, your life is filled with much upheaval, much increase, many blessings. That's what I hope, and that's what I believe for each and every one of you. So from your old pal JC, I'm just going to simply say that I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long.